this event is in a sense a celebration of all of us. The group started initially around investing, which we will hear a bit later from Alan how the process works. And now we also do plenty of events, which you heard from Ajay and others, events like this, social events where we have panels around thought leadership from some professors and people from practitioners from the industry, people from around the world. Those are very popular as well. And one of the new things we have started as of last year is very intentionally thinking of how can we bring the power of this community, which is tech innovation, entrepreneurship, investment, how can we bring that to also help society, kind of extend that family and think of the whole world as a family? How can we connect more globally? And in that spirit, we've started looking at this impact investing Do Think Tank initiative. We have been bringing speakers from the UN, transformative leaders from around the world, and we've done panels with the professors. And we are also looking at partnering with various organizations. I just want to quickly mention some of those partners. I'll again do that later from Stanford community and outside who are with us in the room today. But if you're interested in that piece, how can we bring the power of tech innovation and investment to help society? Please come and talk with some of us later. Another thing I wanted to mention is that LA chapter got launched for Stanford.
Can we get the LA members that have come here today?
San Diego.
Thank you all for being here tonight. It's really tremendous, actually, to see the people in this room, and I'm so glad to see women in this room, in this outdoor room under the sky. But it's great. That is something that we have at times struggled to get into the group, and I think it's in part the focus on tech as opposed to some of the impact that tech can have may have had a part to do with that. But now kind of combining those two things, I really see the difference in terms of who's here. So I'm very happy to welcome new members to the group and also to our home. The real way that Stanford and Angels and Entrepreneurs got started was actually through competition, friendly competition, if you will. Clint Korver, who's my partner in life and my partner at Ulu Ventures, happened to have a friend who was very involved with Harvard Angels. And he was like, why are these guys having an angel fund and Stanford doesn't have one? And I said, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. You know, they're here investing in our community and we don't have a group that's at all comparable. And so Clint and I joined forces to try to encourage the university to have an angel group, which they had never allowed before, and to actually allow it to be branded Stanford. And one of the things that in fact, it was John Hennessy himself who said, it has to be open to everyone. I do not want an angel group that is open only to some of our Stanford alums, because this is a community and we want everyone to be a part of it. And we want everyone to support entrepreneurship, and we want the kind of widest possible participation, which is why the group, instead of being called Stanford Angels, was called Stanford Angels and Entrepreneurs, because he really did stand for people helping each other in both the entrepreneurial and the investing community and the mentorship aspect of the community, as opposed to just investing and just wealth creation.
Radhika, so Ulu Ventures, we're an enterprise seed stage venture firm here in Silicon Valley. Miriam, she just left, so she and I are the two co-founders of that. And really, we've used not only Stanford Angels and Entrepreneurs, but what we do with Ulu Ventures is really being part of the Stanford community. So I'd say about 60% of the investments that we make are in folks that have some connection to the Stanford community, and this is really, where we spend most of our time. A couple of things that make us maybe a little bit different than other venture firms. One is we're very values driven, and in fact, actually, so Somak, who also works with our firm, brings to us, his PhD at Stanford was in how do you understand your meaningful purpose? By the way, this is an engineering dissertation so there's actually, he showed that there's no way to quantify this, but actually quantification can be helpful. So that sounds interesting, talk to him. But we have some entrepreneurs that look at us a little strange when we want to talk to them about their values and what they're all about. We want to make sure there's alignment there. And by the way, we don't consider ourselves a social impact venture firm. but we believe that making the world a better place is actually the best way to build a great company. Another way that we're a bit different is we have diversity as an investment thesis. So again, this is there's obviously a social impact component there, but our notion is if the industry is systematically overlooking groups of folks, we're going to systematically look for those folks. And by the way, we're still looking for people that can build great companies and great market opportunities. So it's the same set of criteria for everybody, but we just think there's an area where we can find great opportunities. And then the third thing I'll mention in terms of being different is what Radhika was mentioning. We've got an analytic approach to making all of our decisions. Essentially, so I got into venture about 10 years ago. I went around I was an entrepreneur before then. I talked to some VCs that had funded my prior companies and some other folks. I said, well, we're thinking about doing some angel investing. How do you do it? And almost everybody we talked to said, well, big markets, tenacious teams, differentiated technology. And it's like, okay, great. But then how do you actually decide? Because there's a lot of folks that kind of look like that. And almost everybody said some version of, well, you just have to have the magic. I'm like, really? We've known each other for how long, and that's the best you got for us? And then I was like, well, I'm thinking of collecting a bit of data and using a little math, and I've got this decision analysis thing. It's like, oh, clank. You just don't understand it. It's like we have some analysts running around looking at market size, but nobody pays any attention to them. That's not how you do this. Like, okay, we're going to be geniuses or idiots by the time we're done with it, because every time we write a check, we go through this process of quantifying the risk. And knock on wood, so far it's working. And every once in a while, I'll talk to the group about it in terms of like how we do. I think we've got an open house at Ulu, so if people are interested, I think it's in November. There'll be something that's be sent out about it soon. So you're welcome to come on in, and I'll happy to tell you more.
It's a lot smaller space, though, so don't take offense if we can't accommodate everyone.
But a very quaint space.
Happy to. So, in terms of investment process, it's pretty straightforward. If you come across a really compelling company that is raising a pre-seed round or seed round, send them to us. One of our investment committee members will review the pitch deck and get back to you. The ideal companies that our angel members have told us that they're interested in are the ones where they already have a lead investor who's put down a term sheet with a lot of momentum behind the deal, but they're looking to connect with the Stanford community, with folks like you, experienced investors and entrepreneurs, to help them build an amazing company. Right? So that's the ideal profile. And this year so far, our members have invested in companies across many different sectors. There's a company that has come up with a very cost-effective way to video record police actions, and that should hopefully lead to much better police-community relationships. There's one that dramatically streamlines the way checks are processed. In the U.S., there's still like billions and billions of checks that are processed every year, and this company is going to solve that problem. There's another one that is focused on streamlining how clinical trials are done, hopefully bringing new drugs that could save lives faster to market. So these are just some of the highlights of the companies that we see that our members have invested in. So if you haven't made it to one of our pitch meetings or watched one of the pitch videos yet, please keep your eyes open for the next pitch event invite emails that's going to land in an inbox. Hope to see you in one of the future pitch meetings. These are really amazing companies that we're seeing in our pipeline, and also through these meetings is where you get to hang out with other angel investors in the Stanford Angels and Entrepreneurs community as well, and get to know each other as investors at a personal level. So really strongly encourage you to come to one of the future in-person pitch meetings.
First of all, thank you all for being a great model for the chapter down south, and we're taking so many learnings from what Clint and Miriam and Radhika and Alan have established, so thank you. So we're just looking to scale the platform down in Southern California and hopefully beyond, and we hope to have a very close and collaborative relationship with what's going on up here. So we hope to have about 50 people at our launch event. We ended up having 105.
Wow.
That was exciting. That's right. We're going to have a lot of fun, so we hope that we'll see you down there early and often.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it wasn't the folks that showed up. We had Silicon Valley Bank showed up and supported us. Denton's came and supported us. We actually had a pension fund showed up, which was interesting. LA County Employees Retirement System. And one thing that was interesting is that we introduced him to a firm called Blavity, who just raised their Series A, $6.5 million. Google Ventures and Comcast and Baron Davis. And so when I introduced the pension fund guy to him, he said, sorry, our tranches are like 100 million and up, so we can't help you.
So we got work to do.
We got work to do. But echoing Jay's statements and clearly Miriam and Clint and Radhika and others, we really look to Northern California as the mothership, as I would describe it, and want to use those best practices and bring them down into a different ecosystem. We know that Southern California has things that don't exist in the Bay Area, and we want to be able to sort of curate those and bring that deal flow up here to Northern California as well. Well, I'll say one other thing. Miriam's sentiments about community are really, really key. And we see this amongst a lot of different populations, is that the mentorship aspect and the family aspect of it is really, really crucial, especially when you're looking at women and underserved populations. And so we're going to really drive that home with the Fellows Program and with working with Impact Investment, collaborating with Northern California, so that we can bring Stanford Angels, throughout California to do good work. And so we're excited about that.